In a small, sun-drenched town where the air was always fragrant with blooming jasmine, lived Harold and Margaret, a couple who had spent more than 5 decades intertwined in a tapestry of love and shared experiences. Their home, filled with the echoes of laughter and the warmth of countless memories, had become a sanctuary of their journey together. As they approached their twilight years, they often reflected on how their love had transformed, deepened, and blossomed into something uniquely beautiful. Harold often mused about how love changes with age. In their youth, passion had been a fiery flame, an intense force that ignited their hearts. They had danced under the stars, whispered sweet nothings, and reveled in the thrill of new beginnings. But time had gently shifted that fervor into a quieter, steadier love, a love that was no less profound. He would catch himself watching Margaret as she tended to her beloved garden, her fingers delicately coaxing life from the soil. It was in these moments, filled with tranquility, that he realized the beauty of their enduring bond. It was a love that had matured, rooted in understanding and companionship rather than the fleeting excitement of youth. He cherished this evolution, appreciating how they had grown together, navigating the complexities of life hand in hand. As the years passed, they both recognized the importance of taking care of each other's health. The vibrant adventures of their earlier days had given way to a more cautious approach to life. Harold had taken it upon himself to prepare healthy meals, often experimenting with new recipes that incorporated fresh vegetables from Margaret's garden. He was determined to ensure that she remained strong and vibrant, just as she had always cared for him. Margaret, in turn, had become his advocate, reminding him to take his medications and encouraging him to join her for evening walks. They understood that growing old together meant not just sharing the joys of life, but also protecting one another's well-being. It was a mutual commitment, a promise to nurture each other through the inevitable challenges that aging brought. Physical closeness became a language of its own, spoken fluently through small gestures. They had long since abandoned the grand displays of affection, opting instead for the simple, everyday acts that spoke volumes. Harold would often find Margaret nestled in her favorite armchair, a book in her lap, and he would quietly slip into the seat beside her, reaching for her hand. The moment their fingers intertwined felt like a warm embrace, a reminder of the connection they cherished. A shared hug before bed became a nightly ritual, a comforting cocoon that enveloped them in love. These small gestures, seemingly insignificant, were the threads that wove their hearts together, binding them in a tapestry of intimacy that only deepened with time. Communication, too, had evolved. They no longer engaged in long discussions about their dreams or aspirations. Instead, they found joy in the little exchanges that punctuated their days. A simple, "How was your day, dear?" or a shared chuckle over a memory from their past became the highlights of their conversations. They would sit on the porch, sipping tea, watching the world go by, and in those moments, words were often unnecessary. A glance, a smile, or a gentle squeeze of the hand conveyed everything they felt. They had learned that love didn't always need grand declarations. Sometimes it thrived in the quiet understanding that grew between them. As they reflected on their life together, Harold and Margaret found immense joy in honoring their shared memories while also creating new ones. They would often reminisce about their first date, the laughter that filled their home when their children were young, and the adventures they had embarked on together. Trips to the mountains, evenings spent dancing in the living room, and quiet weekends spent reading side by side, and each memory was a cherished jewel in the treasure chest of their lives. Yet they also understood the importance of making new memories. They began to explore new hobbies together, taking a painting class that brought out their creativity and laughter. They would spend afternoons at the local art studio, their canvases splashed with colors that reflected their personalities, their laughter mingling with the sounds of other artists. These new experiences rekindled the spark of joy within them, reminding them that life was still full of possibilities, even as the years advanced. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue across their backyard, Harold surprised Margaret with a picnic. He had carefully prepared her favorite foods and laid out a blanket beneath the old oak tree that had witnessed their love blossom over the years. As they sat together, surrounded by the beauty of nature, they shared stories, laughter, and dreams for the future. In that moment, they both felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the life they had built together. It was a reminder that love, when nurtured with care, could continue to flourish even in the autumn of their lives. Harold looked into Margaret's eyes, seeing the same spark that had drawn him to her all those years ago. He realized that while their love had changed, it had also deepened, becoming a profound connection that transcended time. They had learned to embrace the beauty of the present, cherishing the quiet moments that filled their days with joy. In their hearts, they knew that love was not just a feeling, but a commitment, a promise to nurture, honor, and cherish one another through every season of life. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Harold and Margaret sat hand in hand, their hearts intertwined in a dance of love that would continue to grow, nourished by the very elements that had brought them together in the first place. They understood that their journey was far from over. It was a beautiful continuation, a testament to the enduring power of love that had weathered the storms of life and emerged stronger, more vibrant, and infinitely more precious